Hey there, thank you for joining me on my morning walk. I'm you one day. We're talking about a lot of things that has to do with the things of the mind and life in general. Good morning, welcome to Morning Walk with me. My name is Yewande. How you guys doing? How's your night? Had a pleasant one. I hope you had the same too. Alright, so over the weekend I was thinking about some things, and I realized that though this might be spooky, but having experienced it myself, I think I can say one or two things about it. So let's talk depression, shall we? I'm not happy about it, so that expression was wrong. It was a wrong facial expression to emotions I feel inside. Alright, so a lot of people are going through things emotionally, and though medically they've said depression can be clinical too, so you can take drugs for it. The drugs you take, you might take it for the rest of your life. So is it a terminal disease? I don't think so, because if it's something that deals with your emotions, yes, it can be psychological or neurological, whatever it is, hormonal, but regardless of that, it's embedded in some factors as humans. So as humans, we are neurological human beings. We're also psychological human beings. The neurological part of us are the internal organs. But most of the time we don't see it operate. Like, we don't know how our lungs react. We don't see these things. Alright, so it's hard for us to pay attention to them, unlike our psychological side, which is majorly affected by our senses: the eyes, the nose, the tongue, the skin, the ears. These ones, it's easy for us to be part of its process, its capturings. Right? You can hear me speak, you can see me from the video, so it's easier to understand our psychological side. The neurological side is also very important. Alright, our psychological side, what it majorly does is that it gathers information, okay, and it stores this information as memory, okay. That's why when your eyes sees a plate of rice, for instance, it goes ahead to taste it, and these two senses have a way of now recording it into memory to know what rice looks like and what it tastes like. So when you see rice, you don't mistake it for yam. When you see yam, you don't mistake it for rice. Okay, so it gathers information for us to use, and because of its connection to our neurological side, which is our brain, we get emotional. There's a gland that controls emotions in our brain, right? It's the one that it alerts us when there's danger or pain or anything. So it puts us in the emotional part of things, how to feel about things. That's why you can go like, oh, I love rice, I love to eat rice, or I love to eat beans. Do you understand? Now, let's fast forward to how this affects us. So depression majorly is the I would like to define it that way, please pardon me, is the emotional reruns of the informations we've gathered. Alright? If somebody says something nasty about us, it can trigger a sense of emotion in us, and then we can feel awful. Okay? Emotion can also come from information we've gathered over the years, born out of the expectation of the society from us, which kind of evaluates whether we are succeeding in life or failing. So this also triggers emotions. But the bottom line is that emotions is just a rerun of, depression is just a rerun of emotions in us that we cannot turn off. Okay, nobody can turn off emotions, especially the ones that comes from a passionate angle of things. So we can't turn them off. And how do we deal with this? Over time, out of my own experience, I would say that emotions can be in two phases. Alright? One, which I feel is better, is the one where you are depressed. Depression is in two phases. You're depressed about what you don't have, right? You coming short of expectations. And most of the time this is influenced by what is around the world these days, which is financial factors or economic factors. So it can be like, oh, I'm 30 something, by now I should have had a job, have some money, or I should be staying on my own and not with my parents or something. And that can be depressing when it seems as if there's no way forward with things. You can't see anything materializing for you. By that point, I've experienced that, and I will tell you that it's because depression generally anyway is because we became accidentally, like becoming of us, growing into our own being was accidental. All right, it's just like we're chasing a shadow of ourselves. The society over the time creates a roadmap, and some are perceived as good, some are perceived as evil. Okay, or some are perceived as successful, some are perceived as a failure. All right, and we are quick to accepting that as an information that triggers our own emotions. So the society expects that you grow up, you go to school, complete the primary, secondary, and tertiary education, get a job, a decent job that gives you the social status amongst your peer, and get married, have children. That's what is expected. That's what the society expects from you. All right. So, and there are phases to these things. When you finish school, you know that it's time to get a job. And you get a job, nobody needs to tell you. You just have it at the back of your mind. It's time to get married. When you get married, it's at the back of your mind. You don't need to be told that you need children. All right. So that is how it comes to us. But that is an accidental becoming. It's not who we are. And so when the information of the society comes to us and we digest it and we say the emotions we get from it is who we are, it begins to mess with us. Okay, it begins to mess with us, and there are problems from there. You begin to have a neurological breakdown, you begin to have even psychological breakdown sometimes. So it is important to detach ourselves from the narrative of what is not us. Emotions is not you, it's not your reality. All right. For instance, let's say somebody hasn't gotten married, and based on the clock, the watch of the society, at that age you should be married. So what happens when you're not married? Sorry, pardon me there. What happens when you're not married? Are you going to take the information you have, or you're going to look inwards as if that is actually what you need at that point? Right? Some people don't have enough matured mind to get married, but because of the societal pressure, expectations, they do, and then they begin to encounter problems, and that's another emotional dilemma in itself. So it is important that we understand the information coming to us and we sift through it. Okay, like I said earlier, there are two phases to depression. One is, of course, the one I just treated, which is you being depressed based on what you don't have, failure. It's also possible, which I've also actually experienced, you being depressed over what you have. Yes, this category of people that can actually that can better understand this are people who have money, social status, and society, fame, and celebrities, influencers, or whatnot. They get bored after a while because the success is a rerun. All right, it's just going, and it's as if they can't catch a break from it, and the success begins to trigger depression because they wish they can break away from it, but because it's their source of livelihood, somehow they can't break away from it. All right, so it gets depressing. They feel caged in their own world, and somehow they feel like if they don't do what is expected in their industry or for their businesses, they are going to come crashing down. And the fear of crashing down to a point where they become like normal people, in quote, becomes an issue for them. So they get stuck in their own cage. One, they say the society built it for them, but the truth of the matter is that even when they can get out of it, they are too scared to get out of it. So it becomes a problem. Recently, there was an American musician, I can't remember her name now, and she said she's just tired of everything. She can't spend time with her father. She's always working and working and working and working and working. You shouldn't get her wrong. It's not as if she doesn't appreciate the work, but man, she just wants to clock out. She's tired. Okay. People who have worked with celebrities, they know these things happen to them often. Sometimes they just go off the radar and try to recoup. So you have to identify who you want to become within you. Okay, you cannot be an accidental person. Everything you do as a person should either be that you want to add value, or you want to give value, or you want to get value. Whatever you do, at the back of your mind should serve a purpose. If it's no longer serving the purpose you were out to get with it, then take a break from it. You have to reroute you have to redraw your map, right? You have to go back to the drawing board and talk to yourself, all right? Regardless the pressure internally or externally. And the best way to actually counter that is inner management, all right? Inner management. Sometimes you need to refuel yourself. I'm not saying you practically need to isolate. If you are a celebrity or you are always working, sometimes you might need to cut yourself a break. Take a walk, all right? Take a walk. Take like a 30-minute walk, 10-minute walk. Sometimes just read. Sometimes just listen to music, that can calm you down, all right? It helps. Also, for those that feel they are failing in life, that's not who you are, all right? After, say it this way, cars and clothes are something, all right? Cars and clothes are something, and maybe a very big mansion or whatever you want to achieve in life. When it gets down to it, you are more than those things, because once you achieve them, you start asking yourself, what next? What next? Let me go into a business. Let me invest. Let me go into philanthropy. Let me do this. Let me do that. That is accidental becoming, because you are not finding that inner peace to appreciate what you have, to appreciate who you have become, and just give yourself peace. I'm not saying you shouldn't do those things. You should. But like I mentioned earlier, if it is giving you purpose, if it's giving you value, or you're getting value from it, all right? Earlier, I've had a video earlier that I put up that money, for instance, which is a common factor with everybody, needs to be generated for a particular purpose, for a particular value. If your only reason of generating money is to let the people see that you have money, then you're going to be sad at some point, because people you're trying to show off to, or people you're trying to attract with what you have, they can't stand in a place giving you the accolades every day, all right? Let's say, for instance, you buy a private jet. The first time people see your private jet, they'll be like, "Ooh, big boy." But you're not going to do that the second day, because they already have their information and they have saved it. That's it. And then you'll be like, "Oh, people are not talking about my private jet anymore. Let me get something else. Let me buy a house in the moon. Let me do this or that." So if it's not serving a purpose, if it's not giving a value, or you getting a value from it, you're going to be under a lot of pressure, and you're going to become what you are not totally set out to become, because you don't really understand the position of things with yourself. You have to understand the position of things with yourself and understand that there is more to you, all right? If you're not given to this world, at some point you're going to be depressed. And just know that a little bit of appreciation for those who need hope, a little bit of appreciation of things you don't pay attention to boosts your psychological well-being. Alright? Sometimes if nothing is really going on, like a big deal in my life, I just pay attention to little things. Might be in the shower and I'll be like, "Oh, thank you, Lord, for water." Or "Thank you, Lord, I'm breathing this morning that I woke up." Check my limbs and I'll be like, "Oh, thank God for my limbs. They're functioning properly." All right, just appreciate the simple things, the little things. Appreciate them, and it boosts your morale. All right, it shows or it tells you that you have something. Okay, you have something that not everybody necessarily has. So you have something going for you. It's not a total blackout with you. All right. For successful people, they need to break out. You already have the platform. You can do, most of the time you can do what you feel like doing. All right, you have earned that for yourself. So if all you need to break away from people is a day, do it. All right, you don't need to necessarily have people around you every day badging on you what to do, what not to do. Oh, the makeup artist is here. Oh, the person with the script is here. Oh, there's another meeting for us to do. Oh, we have to travel. We have to go on tour. If you need a day, take a day. If you need a month, take a month. Right? A lot of celebrities go on vacations a lot because their mental well-being is important to them as well. Okay, so take a cue from people who are in your field that, attract what you want. All right, in terms of value, that adding value to yourself or giving value to humanity. All right, value, crucial. Purpose, crucial. You don't want to be an accidental person. You don't want to become accidental in yourself. You can spend all those years on the surface of the earth and you don't even know what for. Just about everything you've gathered. All right, so accidentally becoming, it's dangerous. You don't want to do that. All right, let me close it here. Woo, boy. All right, thank you very much for listening to me again today. Please kindly subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and also please drop a comment in the comment section and let me know what you feel about this. Thank you very much. Have a blessed and lovely day.